About 2 years ago, I started modifying the interior of my 99 Corvette. NRG seats, harness bar, and steering wheel with quick disconnect. And I installed all that really with the intention of using it, racing it, whatever. It just never really happened. And I'm going a different direction with the car now. I think I'm gonna end up selling it. So we got stock seats, stock steering wheel, airbag, all the interior stuff. I didn't throw it away, luckily. We're gonna turn it back to stock. It really is worth more with factory equipment like the seats. People wanna modify it their own way, which I get totally. Now I'm gonna try and make this video useful if you're trying to install these parts. So as I take them out, I'll explain it, showing you how these go together. Let's check it out. I think we'll start by getting these seats out. They're NRG Prisma Ultra in large size, and yes, they do fit in the car. One thing is they do rub the door panel. Well, they touch, they make contact, but there's no visible signs of that. I have to run it with the bottom seat cushions out because I sit way too high with them in. So pull these harnesses through, get them out of the way. Pretty simple, just 4 15mm nuts in each corner, and I should be able to get the seat right out. Should all be loose. There we go. Gonna pop the other side out quick. Same exact process. All right, let's go over these a little bit now that they're out of the car. The belts that are on the transmission tunnel, which is the inside of each one, actually gets bolted to the bracket. So you can kind of worry about that. In the car, gotta take apart the trim and then bolt your other belt for a 5-point to the car itself. I'll show you that more when I get these panels off. When you buy your NRG seats, they come with this bracket. For reference, I use the top hole in the front, and the middle one on the back. I added the seat slider here, and I remember having to drill my own holes on the NRG bracket to get it to work. So one's right here, pretty much all the way at the front, same on this side. So you kind of have to mess with it. I also had to notch it out with a grinder to get this part of the mechanism on the slider to fit. Bolted to the slider is the adapter for the C5 for the Corvette for your specific application. This came off eBay, was super cheap. Probably cheaply made too. And then your 5-point center belt just bolts to the bracket. The other 2 points for your 5-point harness are obviously your shoulder belts, and you're gonna need a harness bar like this. This is a Vette shark bar. It's custom made for the Corvette and it'll bolt right in. And they make them universal kits you can probably cobble together, but I didn't feel like doing all that. It's a little more pricey, but it bolts right in. So this location is where your factory seat belt is. That just bolts right in. Then the arms come down to the corner seat mounting bolt, and they include this little bracket here. And it all ties together. That's really simple to do. So I'm gonna get that out next. Support struts are an 8mm Allen and a 9/16 nut on each side, and that'll pop right out. And then it's a 10mm Allen for the seat belt. Got the other bolt out. Harness bar is out. Gotta get this stuff on Marketplace ASAP. Now we gotta get this trim panel off to get to that belt. So that panel just pops up. That should be enough to get at it anyway. And there's our Torx bolt. It's a T50. Everything is now out, and I'm gonna take this opportunity, give this a good cleaning in here. Then we'll get to reinstalling the old stuff. Got her all vacuumed up. Looks nice and clean, and I got the seat belts in. This side's completely done. That's what it looks like. And then if you're going the opposite way of me, T50 Torx holding on this seatbelt ratchet, and T50 down here, and a T50 up here. And I was mistaken. This actually is hardware that came with the harness bar. I found the stock bolts in my box full of parts. So that's what that looks like. I'm gonna get the trim on this side and then work on getting the seats in, or these seats. The factory seats are pretty much ready to go in. We just need to bolt on the buckle receiver. This one's broken. Well, both of them are broken because I did run these seats for a little bit with factory seat belts, and the only way it would fit is if you would bust off the plastic around the buckle, and it would sit in there just like that. So I'll have to get a new one of these eventually, or just the plastic part. I use the hardware on the NRG seats. Let's get that off. So I use the factory hardware on this seat because on the nut it has that little nylon washer. That makes sure that you don't tighten it too much and it can still spin. So we need to use that over here so you can tighten it down but still be able to move the seat belt. Get this seat thrown in quick. Already got this one done. Power seat still works. This one works too. Then all we got is the little trim pieces that cover up the bolts. Both seats are in. Real quick before we do the steering wheel, change out the shift knob. You screw the factory squared knob thing on. And then you just gotta get that slot to line up and drive this little metal piece in.
I like the other one.
Factory, babe. Like that. You just put your little pattern back on there and good to go.
Yes.
Factory knob back on. Now I'll move on to the steering wheel. Quick disconnect. Get that out of the way. Nice and easy. Take out these 6 Allen screws. Got that off. There's our horn wiring. Just unplug that quick. Now we got our main nut holding on the hub. 13/16 nut. And we're going to need the wheel puller. I got this lower panel off of here so I get to this yellow connector. That's for the airbag, and when I put in the aftermarket wheel to keep the airbag light from going off, I wired in a resistor. So there's the 2 airbag wires, and I just cut them and then soldered in a resistor right here. So now I have to undo all this and resplice it to the airbag. Well, never mind, won't be doing any wiring. I thought I kept the clock spring, but I guess not. That's the part that goes on here that this plug wires into, and then the plug that goes into the airbag. So I have to order one of them and do all this at a later time. So I'll plug that back in so the airbag light stays off. Guess this only goes on one way. I was gonna try and adjust it, but that's where it wants to go. Seems about right though. Got it torqued 30 foot-pounds. Got the wires connected for the horn at least. Throw this on and get the bolts in. All right, I got one of the bolts holding the airbag. You gotta kind of turn the wheel so you can get at it at the back here. And then a long boy like that, tighten it up. It's a little different in here. It sounds the same. Well, we got her done. Interior back to stock. Need to order a clock spring and the seatbelt receivers. Next thing for the car is gonna be some kind of muffler. It's completely straight piped all the way from the headers, all the way out the back, no cats, and the next pipe. And it's loud. I've been daily driving the car for like 2 weeks now. Don't get me wrong, it sounds cool, I love it. But I feel like sometimes it gets a little bit too much attention. Just something on there to quiet it down a little bit. That'll probably be the next thing on the Vette. It's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Got some Corvette parts off to a good home. He bought the harness bar and the steering wheel set up. Still got the seats.